Hey everyone. All right, so today I'm going to answer a question that you'll see here on the video itself about why people use spurs and whips and if those spurs and whips hurt the horses. Well, I personally do not use spurs or whips, but I think I can shed a little bit of light on this topic. Do spurs and whips hurt horses? Absolutely, they can hurt horses if used improperly. Okay, that is the biggest takeaway I want you to have from this conversation here. Anything that you use on a horse can be used improperly. I could use this brush right here improperly. I could take it, I could smack her with it, I could hit her, and it could be used, to cause harm and to sort of impart, impart negative energy. She just spooked a little because that camera moved. Did you see that? But she didn't move far. She just kind of flinched a bit. Anyway, anything you have in your hand can be used as a weapon. Let's just, call it what it is. And I have seen people use crazy things to harm, to get a reaction out of a horse or to get them to do something that they want. And whips and spurs are really no different. A lot of people use what are called whips as cues to their horse when they're riding their horse. And what you need to understand is that cue can be used so incredibly gently on a horse. Like, for instance, if I were on top of True right now, okay, and like on her back, riding her, my leg would kind of be like here, all right, hanging down, right? And what people do is they often have this long, it's a crop. It's not really a whip. It's a crop, especially in the English discipline of riding. And what they will do is they will take the crop and they will just kind of like tap the horse. And I mean literally like this, like tap the horse. Like if they want them to move, for instance, to take a step over, they can cue their horse by teaching them, okay, I'm tapping you here, so I want you to step that way. In turn, they can tap them back here to get them to disengage their hind. I mean, there's lots of different ways that you can use a crop. Lots of different ways that you can use spurs. Spurs kind of are the same way. Now, spurs are used in Western riding a lot more, but there are multiple different kinds of spurs. You've seen the old typical spurs that are the wheel that have the little kind of spokes on them. Well, they make a gazillion different types of spurs. They make a spur that is nothing more than like a marble. It's a round, it looks just like a little marble, and basically that would be utilized if you wanted your horse to kind of like disengage their hindquarters or something. It would literally take what would feel like a marble and it would be kind of like touching them. And it depends, again, on the pressure that you use. I mean, I can make my thumb have the same consistency or damage factor, if you will, as one of those spurs. I mean, if I really wanted to start poking at her and pushing on that, it's the same kind of concept. Now, a spur used correctly can just, simply ask the horse just like to step off, like turn off. I mean, I don't really want to do it to her right now, because she's eating and it's not the time to do it. But if I wanted her really to kind of move off, I could use that pressure to do it. Now, can you use just your boots to do this? Of course you can. You don't have to have spurs. But some horses are not very responsive to cues. Don't knock my camera over, please. Every time. Some horses are not very responsive to cues, and therefore people do utilize spurs as just kind of a help in their riding. So short answer is, are spurs and crops, painful to horses? Yes and no. It really just depends on how you use them. I mean, if you're anything that you have, if you want to kind of be aggressive with it, certainly it can hurt. It can hurt a horse. So, but they can also be used properly and gently to where all you're doing is you're helping to cue that horse a little bit more. Listen, I've seen people wearing just boots, cowboy boots, that are kicking the tar out of their horses. I mean, they're frailing them. And I mean, you don't think that bothers the horse? I would actually rather see somebody use a tiny, tiny little bit of spur pressure, or even a crop, just like, you know, kind of just like a little tap, versus someone wailing on a horse's ribs with their boots. So it really all depends on, you know, who you're dealing with, who your rider is. Hi, Shakes. I know. He's like, would you stop talking and scratch me? It depends on who your rider is, you know, what the utilization is of those tools. So yeah, I mean, I don't want you all to think that everybody out there that's riding a horse that is wearing spurs or might be utilizing a crop is some kind of, you know, abuser, because that's simply not the case. But at the same time, there are people who very much misuse those spurs. I mean, and you can really hurt a horse by doing that. You know, you can dig into their sides, you can make them bleed, you can really cause, you know, you can cause them pain and agitation. So really, it just boils down to anything that you have, if used improperly with a horse or any other type of animal. I mean, look at a leash, a dog leash or a choke collar. I mean, that can be used improperly. You can kill a dog with that. I mean, anything can be misused. So, yeah, I hope that helps and helps to clear up some of that confusion a little bit. So it's not the tool, it's who's using the tool and how they're using the tool. That is what you have to think about when you're thinking about horsemanship. So, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of it for that topic. And let me know if you guys have any other questions or, you know, any comments about that. I'd love to hear. And I will, yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. If you think this helped you or helped anybody else, definitely hit all those 4 buttons for us. They're right here on TikTok, those 4. And if you're on YouTube and such, those 2. And don't forget, folks, I just launched my very first online class. Right now it's 50% off instead of $98. It's $49, and you can go to my pinned videos on TikTok and, you know, get the links to that and find out all about it. But it talks all about horse body language. It's 4 whole modules long, and yeah, I would love to see some of you jump on there and learn a little bit more about your horses and what they're saying. So thanks so much, and yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in the next one. All right.